Hey there, it's Aaron. In this video I want to look at the difference between hyperrealism and photorealism and whether or not there is a difference. Oftentimes the term photorealism is used when it comes to digital art, digital gaming art, and just digital images in general when it comes to how things like textures, fine details, skin texture and lighting, etc., whether or not they look very close to real life. So what I want to do is show the difference between the two by running a prompt here in Leonardo that's going to give us a hyper-realistic and some would say photorealistic image. And then we'll take the same prompt over into Adobe Firefly and have a look at the difference between the two over there as well. And I think you will see that the difference is quite striking. So the images that are on my screen came from this prompt, and I'll just modify it here slightly so that I can run it again for our interest. So intricate portrait of, instead of a young Moroccan girl aged 8, we'll say just an Indian woman aged 25, and illuminated by warm lit candles with a backdrop of an eerie dungeon. I'm going to remove that. And let's say background of a park with a fountain in the distance. And this, I had borrowed this prompt from the community page. So they have stunning interpretive visual, maximalist scarf and veil I'm going to remove. f1.0 lens, tilt shift, shallow depth of field, dramatic lighting, and chiaroscuro will typically give sort of heavier, bolder lines and also heavier shadowing and just sort of a darker feel overall. I'm going to remove that since we are taking this image outside. I do want to leave their prompt as much as possible though, because it's going to provide a great hyper-realistic image. So here we go. Let's go ahead and generate this. I'm going to generate this with the deliberate 1.1 model because it tends to do a great job on hyper-realistic and again some would say photorealistic. So we'll let this come back. We'll just quickly have a look at these images because they're very nice. Look at the detail in the fabric, in the candles, in the lighting is very natural, very beautiful. So here we have some images that are quite striking and very realistic looking. I mean, the detail on the hair and the jewelry is just incredible. The texture of the skin, fine details, the mouth, everything is well formed. Beautiful images. Very nice. The compositions are excellent too, and this is what I was expecting, sort of a fountain blurred into the background. Yes, I'm very impressed by these images. So, would you say that they are photorealistic? I mean, it's hard to not say that they're photorealistic because it feels like you could reach out through the screen and touch them. So let's bring it over to Firefly. We'll copy this prompt and we'll paste it into Adobe Firefly. And let's see what Firefly comes back with. I'm going to take off the art and I'm leaving it to you. You'll see how it says dramatic lighting. That was in our prompt, but because it's a setting in Firefly, it brought it down here. So here we have a bad image, but can you see the difference? These look like, besides the fact that they're blurred, I think because of the narrow depth of field. Let's try taking this off. Let's try removing the shallow depth of field and the tilt shift. Let's try this. But I think that you see already the difference between the two of them. Once they're up, there sort of is no comparison. So photorealism looks like a photograph. These are photorealistic images. They look like pictures. All right, so there's no comparison between hyperrealism and photorealism when it comes to AI, because we're no longer talking about digital art up to this point, we'll say. It doesn't have the same meaning now, photorealism, because photorealism looks like a picture. So these images are not being pulled from a hard drive. They're being generated for us. That's the incredible part. And these don't look like composites. Some faces that I've seen, a lot of them look like composites. And those just do not look realistic by nature. But look at this. I mean, the background as well. Everything about it looks natural. Here as well, not as sold on the background, foreground here. That looks natural. That also very natural. Look at the detail in the sunglasses, jewelry. Just absolutely incredible. So we'll do one more here just because it's doing such a fantastic job with these settings. So we'll say a man aged 67, and we'll keep the same setting just so that we can compare apples to apples. So yeah, hyper realistic, photorealistic. Again, photo, that is a picture. So is that. So there you go, folks, the difference between hyperrealism and photorealism. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then like and subscribe to encourage me to make more of them, and I will see you the next time.